Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you. It always is. I hope you're all doing well. Quarter-final time over in Athens and in Metz. Shouldn't take that much of our time today. Get your comments in with the predictions. Anything I'm going for today will be in the pinned comments. You're more than welcome to take a look at that. Take it if you want. Leave it if you must. It's entirely up to you. The choice is yours. But like the video. Get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not already. Hype the video as well. I think that makes quite the difference. I don't really know how much it does, but it's there. What harm could it do, right? But get yourself involved. It'd be an honour to welcome you to the squad. I'll do a quick recap of the round of 16. Did we win? Did we lose? Did we just come close? Most importantly, did we enjoy the matches? Anything but easy for me. Kecmanovic in 3 against Berrettini, and then Yannick Hanfman in 3 against Vic Capriva. Like I say, anything but easy. But I'll take that. I'll take a nice plus money double any day of the week. Seems to be in fine form. As of late. That's 2 in a row now. We'll most definitely aim to keep that up in the quarterfinals. So we'll see what we can do. But that was just me. Get yourself involved. Don't be shy. Share with the group. And we'll waste no more time. Let's get right into business. Let's get it on. Right, so the first one is Jacquet and Norrie. It would have to be Norrie or nothing for me in this one today, folks. I would admit the price is far from ideal. 1.3, 1.35, it is very steep indeed, but I believe this should be the point where the levels really start to mean something. Jacquet not even qualifying for Metz, beats Pellegrino in 3, gets sent back by Jan Schoinski, and then comes in as the lucky loser, takes out Van Asch in 3, and Dana Dead in 2. You know, after getting beat by Dana Dead a week ago, or a week or two ago, we got absolutely bullied by him. He turned up to Metz, got himself a bit of revenge, hit him with a bagel and a 6-2. He's looked alright, I will give him that from what I've seen against the opponents he's been drawn. He's looked rather decent. Okay, I won't say he hasn't. Norrie, Valentin Royer in 3, Arthur Cazot in 3. He's taking out the Frenchies, isn't he? And he's dropping sets to them as well. He dropped the second set, did he, to Valentin Royer? Was the fair? He dropped the second set to Valentin Royer, and he dropped the first in a tiebreak to Arthur Cazot. 2 tiebreaks and a 6-2. Suits him, doesn't it? These conditions we've seen it the past week or two, these conditions, especially over in Paris, he played well. Not that surprised to see him come over to Metz and continue the fine run of form that he's in so far. The pair of these 6 and 3 indoor courts. If you look at hard court outdoors, 20 and 8 for the Frenchman, 11 and 15 for Norrie. It's kind of night and day. Calibre of opponents that these two are used to facing are also night and day. Like I say, 1.35. It's kind of steep, but Norrie really should be getting that one done, in my opinion. We've got Lorenzo Sonego and Daniel Altmaier. Tough one to call. But according to the bookies, there is clear favourites in this one, folks. You're getting Lorenzo Sonego around 1.55, 1.6. I'll admit it's not a bad parlay piece, providing you that confidence in him. Is Lorenzo Sonego playing that much better than Daniel Altmaier at the moment? I'm not too sure. He had a bit of a close one against Schoinski in the first round. The game against Caboli, he got absolutely pummeled in that first set. And then he managed to find a way to win, come back in the second and the third. A decent performance. It was a decent performance indeed. Look, this is usually as far as it gets for Lorenzo Sonego. For the most part, you don't really see him go on that many runs, although at 250 is just the type of tournament for him to do so, in my opinion. Daniel Altmaier, you beat Arthur Rinderknech. Would you have beat Hugo Gaston before he pulled out? I don't know, he bageled him and then he pulled out, didn't he? It would have been interesting to see what was going to happen with that one, but he still remains. You can't say he doesn't deserve to be here. He's played some rather decent tennis the past week or two. He was quality in Paris. He got this far in Paris. He bumped into Felix, then he's won the next 2 over in Metz. Now he plays Sonego, and I think Sonego is a much more doable task than the likes of a Felix Auger-Aliassime. That's right. I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure. They played each other twice before. You're going back to 2017 and 2015. Sonego in straight sets. Close games back then. How it's going to be now, I'm not too sure. 8 and 5 on the indoor courts for Sonego. 9 and 7 for Daniel Altmaier. As far as hard court tennis goes, 11 and 14 for the Italian, 11 and 16 for the German. So like I say, I'd have looked at a matchup like this any other time in the season, or any other season for that fact, and went, you know what, there's a clear advantage on a hard court. But nowadays, I don't think it is anymore. I don't. Daniel Altmaier has made significant improvements to his hard court game. 2.40 is not a bad shout for the dog. He hasn't been the past week or two anyway. Couldn't talk it off a set, while the price is that good for the German. Daniel Altmaier for the set, anyone? Any takers on that? I'm not just 100% sold that Lorenzo Sonego is going to turn up and win this one. He probably should. I don't know, should he be getting it done? I don't think it's fair to say that he should anymore. Daniel Altmaier's been playing really, really good as of late. We'll see what happens in that. Lean towards Altmaier for the set. I would lean towards an over. See how they get on. Here's Clement Tabur and Vitaly Sachko. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought you'd be getting a pair of these? One of them, maybe. Both of them, I'd have never have said. Tabur did get through qualifying, Bukov, and he actually beat Vitaly Sachko to get through qualifying. That's right, I was just going to say Sachko is the lucky loser. He's took out Gio and Pericard in 2, and he only went and beat Alexander Bublik yesterday, that's right, in 3. Happy days, happy days. Now, you could make the excuse for Bublik, we're getting a bit more of an uninspired Bublik at this point, not much to play for anymore, but even still, good stuff from Sachko to hang in there. Those who can take out the likes of Gio and Pericard, Alexander Bublik should be beaten, the likes of Clement Tabur, but he couldn't beat him in qualifying. Strange. Tabur's come through, took out Kovacevic, and had a very, very close game with Alexander Blocks. Had a third and final set tiebreak. It was 3 tiebreaks actually, but that tiebreak in the third and final set was a very rough one, a very dicey affair indeed. Now currently there is no odds for this at the moment. Going off what we've seen so far in Metz, I would have to assume Tabur is going to be the slightest of favourites, if anything. You know, give him that home crowd advantage and whatnot. I'm assuming, like I say, there's no odds for it. I don't know what we're going to do with it when it comes out. I'll leave that one up to you. And then the last one for Metz will be Berrettini and Tien. Once again, there is no odds for this. I'm trying to guess what the odds are going to be. Do you reckon we're going to get Tien as a favourite in this? Maybe. I probably wouldn't hate it. I don't think I wouldn't disagree with it if we were to get Tien as quite a decent favourite in this one. How decent, I'm not too sure. Look fairly decent, Hugo Blanchett, and then the one against Jacquet. In yesterday's matches, both of them in straight sets, safe to say we expected nothing less from the American in both of them games. As for Berrettini, Quinton Hallis, routine win. Alexander Vukic could have posed a bit more of a threat after the performance he put in against Musetti, but he was no match for the Italian on the day. A tiebreak and a 6-3 was all that was needed. You know, is Berrettini, I'm not going to say is Berrettini back to himself because I highly doubt it, but we've been saying more and more as of late, haven't we, the past couple of weeks. He's definitely on his way. He is most definitely on his way. Now, I would have taken Berrettini to beat Tien pretty much any other season, but I think at this point I've probably seen enough from Tien to understand things are different. Things are different. When he turns up on his day, he can be a bit of a problem for the majority. He's beaten better players than Matteo Berrettini, that's for sure. He's given them a better go as well. Say there's no odds, they're only just filtering through now. There's still a game going on over in the other tournaments over in Greece, so not too sure what more is to be done or to be said with those last 2 games. Unfortunately, folks, they have a bit more of an idea what I'd want to do if I could see some sort of price for it. But I mean, Tien probably in better form, most definitely in better form than Berrettini. What am I talking about? Got to the final in Beijing, got to the round of 16 in the Shanghai Masters, went on a 3-game win streak there, 3-1, 1-1 over in Paris, and then he's found himself in the quarterfinals over in Metz again. Tien has been doing some bits this season. It's been quite refreshing to see, I'm not going to lie. Berrettini's won 5 no he hasn't, he's won 6 of his last 10. Tien 7 of his last 10. Both of them in decent form. Tien in better form. Had I'd always back the fitness of learning Tien over Matteo Berrettini, but if Berrettini wants to turn up and just be rock solid behind that serve, he can be a bit of a problem for the majority of them to deal with. So we'll see how they get on with each other. We'll see how they get on. Don't even know who I'd lean towards in that one. It's a very, very tight one to call. We'll see what the odds are when we drop, and then you can let me know what we're doing with that. But in Greece is Sebastian Korda and Kecmanovic. Shout out to Kecmanovic for pulling that one back against Berrettini and getting me the win. Quite surprised it took what it did to get past Berrettini, even being honest with you. He dealt with Kamil Masharak a lot easier than what he did with the Italian. As for Sebastian Korda, it's been anything but easy for him so far over in Greece. Alexei Popper and Demir Juma took 3 sets to get past the pair of them. I always like to think it's not going to get any easier at this point in the tournament, but you never know. Kecmanovic seems to be a very winnable game for Sebastian Korda, folks. Head-to-heads 2-1, and the 2 games that Sebastian Korda has won did come this year, both of them on the hard court. Kecmanovic beat him in 2022 in Miami. But yeah, Adelaide started the season 6-3 in a tiebreak, and then the most recent one was Winston-Salem, 6-1, 6-4, absolute beatdown in the quarterfinals. I probably would side with Sebastian Korda. I probably would, ever so slightly. I mean, that would be the prediction for me. That'd be the way I'd go. But at 1.4, am I 1.4 certain Sebastian Korda would be the one for me today? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, people are taking it. It's dropping as well as we speak. So if you're going to go on the American, you're probably going to have to go now. Decent price for Kecmanovic. Could he turn up and pull off the upset? Maybe. But I don't know. I mean, what he's done so far over in Greece has been a hell of a lot more than what we've seen the past couple of months. So how much more I expect from Kecmanovic, I'm not too sure. I fear he may have just ran his course. At the moment, Korda might just be a bit too strong. He basically hasn't stood a chance against them all year. How much more can I say about a matchup like that, Kecmanovic? I thought it would have been a bit easier against Berrettini, but it weren't. I imagine Korda will be a hell of a much more difficult task than the Italian on the hard court. So I would just have to assume that. You know, Kecmanovic, he loves to drop a set. I'd say he loves winning one, but Korda is a bit of a different beast for Kecmanovic, I will admit. 1.4 for the American. It is a bit steep. I don't think I'll be taking that, but I suppose it probably would be the right way to look. Alexander Muller and Lorenzo Musetti. I'd probably have to take Lorenzo Musetti in this one. You wouldn't have to take him, but as far as the prediction goes, it would have to be the Italian for me in this one, folks. He looked fairly decent against Stan Wawrinka. Did drop a set after come back. A tiebreak in the second and a 6-4 in the third to see that one through. As for Alexander Muller, has played an extra game than Lorenzo Musetti. Both of them have went 3 sets. Played 2 hours against Struff, and then had a very long game against Jacquet yesterday. 3 tiebreaks. Dropped the first one, won the next 2. Doesn't get much closer than that. Does not get much closer than that. Lorenzo Musetti, I would have to assume he's going to probably deal a bit more trouble your way, or if anything, the same amount. I'd say a bit more than Jacquet, although Musetti, he ain't the most comfortable on these hard courts. If this was on the clay, it'd make it a bit more interesting, but I'd still take Musetti. Now we're on the hard court, I'd probably still have to side with him, even if it's ever so slightly. 80-11 on the surface, 12-12 for Muller, 3-3 indoors, 5-3 for Musetti. Not much difference there. Like I say, 1.3 for the Italian. I kind of don't like it. I wouldn't be risking that on a parlay piece. I'm still thinking about Sonego Musetti when we seen him in the Paris Masters. How he looked perfect, how he looked so good, and then all of a sudden he didn't. Do I want to risk 1.3 on a parlay today, with that being the potential with that being a possibility rather? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Alexander Muller, don't know what the spread's going to be. Maybe 3.5, could be 4.5 if you're very lucky. Probably couldn't talk it off that. He's been solid. These slower conditions, they tend to suit him. They really do. He was He thought he was going to get beat by Struff, and he didn't. He did win the first set, dropped the second, come back, won a tiebreak, and then he dropped the first set yesterday rather. And like I say, I don't know what more he has to do. He's playing fairly decent, but Musetti may just be a bridge too far in this one. Like I say, there is levels. I think Musetti is most definitely upsettable as well. You can definitely get at him on these hard courts, absolutely. Alexander Muller, prior to Athens, like we've said, the form has just not been there. The form has not been there. He is playing good so far in Greece. Will it continue against Musetti? I do believe he could keep this one close, but I probably wouldn't have him chalked up to win that one, folks. And then, look, there's one still filtering through because Bianak's still playing Marcus Giron, so I don't know what that one's going to be. So the last one for tonight's going to be Djokovic and Nuno Borges. Getting Djokovic at Djokovic prices 1.15. This is what we expect. Nuno Borges getting him around a 5-1 dog. I quite like it. I quite like prices like that. But I'll be honest with you, it's probably that way for a reason. Tabilo, he hung in there in that first set, got a tiebreak out of Djokovic, and then it all fell apart in the second, 6-1. Most definitely, the tables had turned. Since we come to the hard courts, now 2-1 in the Tabilo-Djokovic head-to-head. Nuno Borges, straight sets against the Greek. Give me a bit of a scare against Elliot Spizzeri in that first set, but then when he got a grip of it, didn't look like losing control for the rest of the game. Do I think Nuno Borges could give him a tougher time than Tabilo? Perhaps. These have never played each other before, so there's nothing to go off really. Do I think Nuno Borges is going to beat Djokovic? I don't know, like I say in the first match, it depends how it goes, it depends how much Nuno Borges wants this one. Is Djokovic going to nail himself to a cross, trying to see himself through the Athens 250 prior to the finals next week? I don't think so. I wouldn't have thought so. That's no basis to just blindly go for Nuno Borges. Absolutely not. I think Djokovic, any other time of the season, you'd have said he should be winning this one. But at 1.12, there's nothing you can do with that. You'd either believe Djokovic is going to annihilate this guy, or you think Nuno Borges can hang in there enough to keep this one relatively close. Odds for him to win a set will be fantastic as well. I'd be looking at the Nuno Borges spread, if anything, if I had to go anywhere on that one. Like I say, it's not a lot of meat on the bone. It is Djokovic after all. You don't get rich betting against Djokovic, folks, so approach that one with a little bit of caution if you would. Once again, another day in the bag. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for watching the show. Like and subscribe before you go. I'd appreciate that too. But I'll be saying good night to you, or good morning, or whatever. But you take it easy. You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another. It's the most important thing. And I wish you the best of luck, however you decide to go about your business. Have yourself a good day. And I'll see you all tomorrow.